Hey guys, what's going on? There seems to be a little bit of confusion when it comes to the kits that we have for sale at TBNation.net to create your own layout for front and rear decks in your boat. A lot of you reach out to the website and ask us questions like, I have a 14-foot boat, what's the best kit for me? I have a 1648 tracker and I want a live well, a cooler, a rod locker. What kit do I need to get? Those are really difficult questions for me to answer just based off of that information because each boat is different and our kits are not exactly built for a particular boat size and model. You see, this is what it's going to look like when you receive one of our kits. Basically, it's just going to be a big piece of cardboard with a bunch of tape around it and a few packing labels. This right here is the Boss kit. As you can see, we have an itemized list of everything that's inside of there. This is all raw material, just like all of our kits. So for example, any of your 1.5 inch angle is going to come in 6-foot sticks. Okay, and in this particular kit, there's 30 of them. Same with your angle, same with your square tube. And the other part of this is all your rivets. If we take a look inside this boat right now, which is a 14-foot smoker craft, I can show you the 4 main components that make up these kits. One is going to be the 1.5 inch angle aluminum, 1/16 diameter. The other is the 1.25 inch tubing for your vertical supports. And then we have standard rivets, which are the ones that allow the head to pop up. And we have countersink rivets right here. 2 other pieces of material that you're going to need to know that are not necessarily in all of our kits is the aluminum sheeting. In the subfloor, we usually run about 0.90. The decking is usually 0.90, and the vertical walls are always 0.50 or something less. Now, we can sell you guys aluminum sheeting. We do have it available on the site. However, it is much more expensive to purchase from us. If you can find a local dealer or a local metal shop that has it, we definitely recommend going that way. Plus, we have to cut ours down into strips in order to make it shippable. So now that you know that all the material comes raw, meaning you're going to need to cut it to size, let's go ahead and talk about how we use the different materials in this build. You guys can see I have 1.5 inch angle up top. I usually always start with my side rails and then the top of my framing. Sometimes you're gonna have to tee some of this off, so you'll just add rivets to the center of it to make a tee. We also have 1.5 inch angle on the bottom, which keeps everything straight and in line and square. And then we only use the tubing, the 1.25 inch tubing, as our vertical supports. Now, your standard rivets can be used anywhere that you do not need to add aluminum sheeting or turf onto. Countersink rivets, however, the head doesn't start showing up and you're able to lay down a piece of aluminum sheeting on top of this and everything is still going to stay flush and flat. Also, when you attach your aluminum sheeting as your decking material down, use your countersinks as well. When you put the turf on top, you're not going to see the head of the rivet or feel it in there. Most of the time we start off with a boat looking something similar to this. Completely gutted, nothing inside of it except for the ribs and the floor. The first thing you need to do is create your subfloor, add your aluminum sheeting on top, then you can start the framing process. So the best way to go about a build is to properly plan first, okay? Create a sketch, measure out your boat, and if you need help figuring out what measurements you need, check this video out and it'll tell you all the details you need to know. Once you have your outline of your sketch done, then you can go to TBNation.net, go to Nate's Custom Hatches, and start fitting the sizes into your sketch to determine which ones are going to fit and which ones aren't and which ones you need. Once you have that done, then you can kind of, based off of that sketch, determine how many 6-foot sticks of 1.5 inch angle you're going to need. Okay, generally speaking, including subfloor framing, I use roughly 35 sticks per 14-foot build. We got to think about next to every lid, you're going to need 2 sticks, stuff like that. So most of the time, the depth or height of your deck is about 12 inches, meaning you're going to need, in a 6-foot stick, you're going to be able to get 6 vertical supports of 1.25 inch tubing. Now, your deep V's do tend to end up being a little bit deeper. So usually in a 14-foot boat, I will get about 4 or 5 sticks of 1.25 inch angle or tube aluminum, Then to round all this off, I usually purchase about 400 standard rivets and 1,500 countersink rivets. And that's usually enough to get everything done in a 14-foot boat. So like I mentioned, if you guys send us an email and you're like, hey, I have a 14-foot boat, what kit do I need? It's going to be very difficult for me to answer that question. We do have kits built out based off of the length of the boat and the width, so you can go off of that. But what I highly recommend doing is watching this video, watching the measurement video, and then properly planning your build. Understand how these Nate's dry hatches measure. I have a whole stack of them over here. Understand how they measure, understand how they fit. Get your complete design down on paper so you have a game plan ready. And I will also say, it does make it a lot easier when you purchase all your materials at once, at least all of your aluminum. Usually what we do here is we get that aluminum purchase made. Once the aluminum products are here and in hand, then it's kind of easier to do the build, frame out all your hatches perfectly to the exact size of the lid. That way you're not losing or wasting any space. So that is a really quick demonstration or explanation of how we go about these builds. If you do have any questions, please leave them in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel, and we're gonna have more tips and trick videos coming for you guys here soon on tiny boat building.